today I'm going to be talking, hi Tiana, I'm going to be talking about how to make the best decisions for you and your business. And it came from, it was actually a direct a DM message on Twitter. And because when I've been describing what I do on Periscope, who I am and what I do, one of the things I've been saying is that I help people make better decisions for themselves and their business. So I've kind of been asked, okay, so if you do that, can you help me do that? Or can you describe how you do that? So I thought that's a really good topic for today. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so this is it is a very big topic. And what I want to do is condense it and give you some pointers, because the process of getting unstuck is one that I teach now and have taught for years with numerous clients from all different types of businesses and different roles within business. And it involves getting out of your logical mind, which is kind of where we get stuck, and connecting more to your feelings and your emotions before you kind of connect all that back up. Because what I find is where we get stuck, and the reason we find it hard to make certain decisions, is because we're trying to rationalize our way out of it. We're staying up here instead of getting really connected. And for most of us, you are your business. So it's really important to get clear on some of these areas. And in my experience, a lot of small business owners just haven't looked at this, haven't explored this, or if they have, they haven't done it particularly effectively. So it's not helping them make decisions. So there are two main areas that I want to kind of give you pointers on. And the first is about you becoming much more aware and getting clear on what's really important to you. So I'm not talking about, what part of the business is important to you, or what particular tasks do you really like doing, or, whether your friends, your hubby, your partner, family is the most important to you. I'm talking about getting underneath that stuff, because they're just words, and they're kind of meaningless for most of us most of the time. So it's getting to the feelings and emotions and figuring out what we truly value as individuals, what makes us feel fab. And one of the best ways I've found to do this is to do a little exercise, which is just thinking about, now if you want to just think about it now, think about a time when you have been in the flow. So what do I mean by in the flow? I mean when time kind of stands still, or you lose all sense of time because you are so engrossed and you are so enjoying what you're doing, and it's flowing and it's easy. And I'm saying you're enjoying it. It's probably a time when you're just being, you're not consciously aware that you're enjoying it. But with the benefit of kind of pulling out of that and thinking about it now, there will be times, and there may be times in your business, times outside of your business. It doesn't really matter for this exercise whether you do one, the other, or both. It's just thinking about a time when you've been in the flow. So have you got a time in mind where you felt completely in the flow, where it's just been easy and fab and it's working? Hopefully you have. Because what I want to do is unpack that a little bit. So by unpacking, I guess I'm talking about asking a series of questions so that you get to the kind of the meaning behind that. It's like, okay, well that was great, but how's that going to help me? So just ask yourself, what was going on in those periods when you were doing those what particular activities, or a specific activity, what was it? And start to make some notes about this. Who were you being? Because when we're in flow, we tend to be our best self. We're not thinking about all the things that might go wrong, could go wrong, should have done, would have done, could have done. All that kind of stuff is kind of just not there. So who are you being? Maybe make some notes on that. Who was with you? Was there anyone, were you doing this activity by yourself or with someone else? Where was it happening? And what was most important to you about it? So for instance, if you're thinking about where you are and what you're actually doing, if you were doing a specific work-related task and it was about, what might it be about? Well, for me, it might be about planning something like this, planning a course. where it's really creative. So for me, that would be about creativity. It might be something completely different for you. It might be about challenge or adventure or fun. Or if you're doing something by yourself and you're kind of outside, is it about freedom or independence? Is it about nature or beauty? What's underneath that in terms of what's going on for you? What is it that makes you really feel that sense of flow? Another quick exercise, well, it can be quick or you can take longer over it and come back to it, because this is the one that's really enjoyable too, is to think about some peak experiences. So when I was talking about being in the flow, that might be kind of a longer experience. A peak experience would be some kind of situation that you were in where you just felt that that was a magic 10 out of 10 moment. And we've all had those, and we've had those at work, and we've had those outside of work. So for you, what are your peak experiences, those magic moments? I almost want to break into song. Magic moments. Yep, those moments, and we've all got them. And I want you to think about some of those times when life was just fantastic, and unpack that. So ask yourself certain questions. So those questions would be the same as we've just asked for the flow activities. What specifically was going on? Who were you with? Where were you? What was happening for you? Who were you being? So that you start to get words that have real meaning for you. These are things that you really value. And there can be feelings and emotions, or there can be things like adventure, fun, contribution. I mean, for instance, if you enjoy, which I do now, and granted I didn't initially, standing up and speaking in front of a lot of people or doing videos like this, then part of what I enjoy about that, well, for Periscope, because it's new, I quite enjoy the challenge. So that's part of what I really like about it. Another part is actually feeling like I'm contributing, I'm giving value, making a difference. And another part is about being seen or heard. So regardless of how many people see this initially or on live, then it will go out to more people, because I can repurpose this, I can use this, send it out to my community, put it on my blog. So there's a whole range of things that I can do with this that will support my business. But one of the reasons it's so enjoyable is because it gives me things, it kind of links into quite a few things that are really valuable to me, that I really value. So think about, in your business and in your life, periods when you've been in flow and periods when you've had those magic 10 out of 10 moments. And that will help you be much more aware of what's truly important to you, what you really value. Another area, or a second area, that I want to explore is what you really want. So this is about getting connected, not specifically to goals, but more to your bigger vision, your dreams for your life and for your business. So this is about how you want to feel in your business while you're working, how you want to feel in your life, how you want your customers or clients to feel. So you can do an exercise for this too. And it's a really enjoyable one. And I want you to do it without judging, because things might occur to you when you start saying, oh, I'm going to start making some notes about my ideal life, my perfect life, my successful life, whatever you want to call it. But it's your ideal. What would be fantastic to you? Now, you can do that as a big vision for your whole life, or you can focus on one particular working day if that's easier. So what are you doing? How are you being? What's going on for you from the moment you wake up in the morning to the time you go to bed? And just do that. You can draw pictures, just jot down notes, you can write, you can journal about this. But this is an exercise that if you do, and then you come back to and you come back to, you start to refine. And it's not about getting really specific about how things are going to happen for you. It's about getting really connected to your feelings. But in order to do that, you really do have to suspend your disbelief. You have to get out of this, well, I've got to be realistic. That's never going to happen because, or that's probably not going to work because. Forget all of that. Write down what comes to you. Just get it down. Because asking yourself these kinds of questions is sending a signal to your subconscious, because there's stuff that we already know and it gets blocked when we're trying constantly to make decisions just up here. And that's what these exercises are designed to do. So both of those areas are about getting clear and getting much more connected. And I know I'm just focusing on you, but it has implications and application for your business. Because when you are clear and when you are connected, then you've got a different lens through which to look at your choices and options in your business. It may change your perspective. In fact, it often does change your perspective on the areas that you felt stuck on. So it might actually be that what you decide to do is to spend time on in a different area to one you initially thought was the problem, because you've unpacked some of this stuff and you've filtered it through yourself, rather than relying on all these external factors and information. And the other thing it can give you is some completely new options, things, choices, ways forward that you wouldn't have thought of if you're just staying up here and staying in your head. So that's a really good, I think, base point. It's a good start point for starting to think about how you get yourself unstuck and start to make decisions that are going to be the best for you and for your business. Because as I said, what you're doing is starting to filter yourself. You're starting to trust, become more instinctual instead of relying on everyone else. And what happens, and I've done this myself, is that I've made decisions about my business on how to approach things in business, the type of marketing to do, the way to go about certain things based on what's worked for other people, without necessarily feeling like it was right for me, but just thinking, well, it should work, and if it works for them, then it should work for me. I just got to work hard enough, I've just got to kind of get my head down and get on with it. And that just, for a lot of us, does not work. It can work to a point, but you can wear yourself out and it can stop working. So it's kind of done both of those things for me. If I've gone headlong and headstrong into something that I believe is going to work because it works for other people, but it's about how you approach things and it's about how you feel about things, and that's why it's so important. So hopefully that was valuable for you. Please do the exercises. I would love to hear how they go for you, what comes up for you, because that can be a biggie. You can sometimes be really surprised at what comes up. And if you want to go further, if it's kind of, well, that's just scratching the surface and I'm still not clear how that's going to help me in my business, then I've got a brand new course that I literally just launched this week called Decision Making: How to Make Up Your Mind When You're Stuck. So if that's of interest and you want to explore this more, then that's an online course with videos, exercises, comprehensive exercises and a workbook, and you can even test, you can watch a few videos to see whether, my style and what I'm talking about is going to be useful for you. So you get free tasters. So that's me helping you make better decisions for you and your business, because when you make better decisions for you, they generally are better decisions for your business.